are very lucky today to have Miss Lenny Colarusso, Lenora. She goes by Lenny. She likes Lenny more though. So I've had the pleasure of being friends with her over the past maybe 5 years, 4 years, and we
I don't even
actually
know. I think
met.
it's been
We
5 years.
Yeah, we actually met via a podcast we were both on, and I was super impressed with her and just the way she carried herself and the things that she said. And I knew there was something beyond what I saw that got her to this point. And so I reached out to her and I wanted to interview her for my website, Bodysport and the 50 Plus website. And when I heard her story, it was just amazing. And Lenny has gone through a number of incredible challenges, any one of which could have derailed her or anyone's life to such a degree that they never came back from it. And she just found a way to thrive through so many things and create this amazing and admirable life and accomplishments. And I was so impressed. And so after that, we actually collaborated on a fitness education course, the Five Pillars of Lenny. That's actually located in the classroom if you want to check it out. So you can go in there and read more details of her story and read about the challenges and those obstacles that she overcame. I we won't go into those here because there's some trigger warnings with some of them, but her story is incredible and she should be she should be getting interviewed by Oprah right now, not me. I mean, that's who this person is, and we're lucky to have her. And we've just got this friendship going, and we never met in person, but we feel like brother and sister at this point. So, thank you for being here and taking the time. And that fireplace looks very nice and cozy and warm. Um, and welcome. Say hi to everyone.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. And it's actually it's weird to be called Lenny Colarusso. It's actually Lenny Antonina. That's like that. I feel like that's my last name, although Colarusso is my last name. But being that my mom's birthday's coming up, she passed away a year and a half ago. Um,
Sorry.
Her name was Antonina, and she was my sponsor for my confirmation. So I kept Lenny Antonina, even though that is not my legal middle name, but I changed my whole TikTok to Lenny Antonina in honor of her. And I actually really love that name. I like how it flows. And my name is not Lenny, really, per se. It's Lenora, for those who might be confused. But I was supposed to be a boy, and I was named after my uncle Lenny. And I am a tomboy, total tomboy. So I love the name Lenny. Not that anybody needs to know that,
Well, there was some confusion, so
but
people might just wonder, like, "Who is this? The same person or whatever?" So,
Lenny,
um,
Lenny.
but yeah, that's part of who you are in your journey, and the five pillars is her principles for everlasting health and wellness that allowed her to, I won't say put her life back together, but take her life to a high level and be able to help things. So tell people a little about who you are, what you do. You have, lots of credentials. I'll let you inform us on some of those and what
Okay.
what it is that you do.
All right. So obviously, when happened, oh my God, it's 6 years now. Do you believe that? So everything had a shift in my life, along with everybody else. But at the time, I was doing classes, yoga in person. I live in a log home in New Jersey, and it was my dream always to be in a log home, to make my life here. And there was manifestation, there was meditating on it. You got to put the things into action, but your thoughts and actions really do shape your reality. I actually had a whole vision board of me with a stethoscope on my neck, me in a pose for meditation, a log home, serenity, water. My life was very chaotic most of my, a lot of part of my life. So I'm going to tell you that every single one of those things came true. I became a nurse at the age of 47, an RN, after having 5 children with a severe hearing disability. I did go through school and got my license for RN at 47. I'm 61 now. I am a personal trainer of over 26 years, a yoga teacher of, oh my God, 21 years, nutritional counselor of 15 years, and Reiki master of, I don't know, I probably 15 years also. So I'm a mom of 5. I'm a grandmother of 4. I've been married, it'll be 40 years, October 5th of this year. Um, so that's a little bit about me. So during COVID, what I did was I started doing a little bit of personal training online with Zoom, and I'm very tactile. First of all, I'm Italian, and I am a very touchy feel. Like I just, I use my hands, and I'm one on one. I was nutritional counseling one on one before COVID in my home. I was teaching yoga one on one, also doing by donation classes in my yoga studio. And when I say yoga studio, we built a yoga studio and gym downstairs. My husband built the house, really. Um, and he got trees from outside, built yoga studio for me in wood. And then half of it, we have the dark out curtains. So half of it's Reiki, yoga, stretching, after my clients train. And then the other half is my small workout room, workout and equipment. So I live, eat, and breathe health and wellness. It's just who I am. I don't, when they say you grow up, don't identify your kids, don't call them certain things because they're going to be driven by that and they're always going to feel like they have to live up to that expectation. Well, I don't mind living up to that expectation. I've always been feisty. My father called me Spark Plug. My mother called me Tiger. Um, I'm very competitive. Only with my husband, probably. Really bad, especially in Scrabble. But I just love life. Because I've been through a lot of adversities. I appreciate life. I'm very grateful. Um, and when COVID happened, I met you because I was doing podcasts. I also had a podcast for a while. And because I was on Health and Wellness Podcast, that's where I met Kevin. And I'm not a real trustworthy person I guess when it comes to men because of my past. I don't know if you wanted me to get into that, but Kevin just, when you see a light, and I'm an empath, trusted him right away. He didn't want anything from me. He just appreciated me. I appreciated him. And that's where the 5 pillars of Lenny came about for everlasting health and wellness. And the 5 pillars are just really everything that I've incorporated for the last 40 something years to have everlasting health and wellness. And the fads come and go, but the 5 pillars are never going to go out of style. So if you do look at them, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could have been like 9, but I don't like to overwhelm people. And yeah, I haven't taken anything away, but I would have added a couple of other things to them. So maybe one day we'll discuss the pillars, and I don't know exactly what you want to go into, but it's a little bit about me. I don't know if that's that's deep enough for you, but I love
No, that
people.
was great.
Yeah, I mean, I love training older women. That's my specialty, really. just, and I love not them. It's not about the losing of any weight. It's just the empowerment and the strength and being strong. And, my goal is for them to lift the overhead thing in the plane to go away on their trips. You underestimate that, but right? I mean, that's empowerment, and they're older women, so from 50 to my oldest client is 85, and she's great. I just love her. Just love her.
That's awesome. And as incredible as her resume is and the things that she's done, the context of it, if you understand where she came from and what challenges she had to overcome to do this, to do any of those things, then you're really going to be like, wow. And we didn't go into that. And I encourage you to go into the 5 pillars in the classroom and go through the first module or two. And she really goes into a deep dive in terms of that. Your Billy D's podcast is incorporated in there. That's just going to like amaze you guys. And the other side of that is she's oh cool. She's 61 and she's still fit and then kind of working out. No, this girl is like a badass. The things she can do, it's just the way she looks, the strength that she has. When you see some of her videos, I think I put one of the video clips of her deadlifting in the member section, and then some of the flexibility stuff and that she could do. If I tried to do some of that stuff even when I was 19, those would be viral videos for all the wrong reasons. Cause like it would just be a comedy of errors. And it was like, look at this
Yeah, but
fool, can't
that's
do
funny
this.
too. That's cool.
And so yeah,
Yeah.
she's downplaying it, but like it's because you wouldn't believe it. You have to see those images, you have to see the lifts she can do, you have to see the flexibility she has, you just see, and it's this lifestyle that she's built over these years that she's proved her concepts and now she's sharing them for people that if you look at her past and you look at where she is now and then look at what she's doing, she's like, man, if she can overcome all of this, I can overcome this one little thing. I can overcome losing my job, or I can overcome this bad relationship, or I can overcome whatever and at least go in a better direction. And she's helping people do that and one to one versus one to many. And I want to be able to help her do that even more and find some hope and find some inspiration and find someone that you can model about after, even if it's just a little bit, to have that belief in yourself of what's possible and what you can still do. Because a lot of us don't believe certain things are possible. Well, she just shattered that in so many ways. And I could recognize in that first podcast we were in together with Chris Yankee, I was like, there's something behind, this where she is now. There's some stories there. You don't get this confident, this strong, this capable, this good at what you do unless you went through something to get there, to build that resolve and to build that commitment and to create that understanding. And that was impressive and I could see it. And even knowing something was there, then when I heard the full story, I was like, wow. I was like stunned. And I was like, this is superwoman right here. So I so appreciate you being here, and I encourage you guys
Aw.
to learn as much as you can from her. And I'm happy to have her here, and she'll be back more. And I'm pushing her to have her own school group at some time that's targeted towards women who are overcoming and want help overcoming some kind of obstacle or challenge that they've gone through, because she's going to be a great inspiration for them. And then she can meet with people privately in there and do some different things with that. But it's about celebrating you right now. And so I'm curious to some of, and we're going to talk more about nutrition and talk about different pillars. And but I like I've seen some of your workouts. I saw you deadlift what 275 pounds on your 61st birthday. And
Yeah, yeah, no, that was just a goal for me. I'm not a power lifter, but I wanted to do what I was capable of doing. I knew, sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's like, but I've been through so much that this is bull, it's like, what's the worst that could happen? Or I like to say, what's the best that could happen? So I'm never stupid about lifting. Uh, if I have any kind of tweak or any kind of something going on, I'm not going to risk getting hurt. I will not. I've never been hurt in 40 years of training with weights. The only time I got injured was when I had the accident when the log hit my back and I broke my back. But I was determined to come back stronger after that, and I did. Um, so yeah, I lifted I think 2 reps for I think I was 225, not 230. But like yeah, and then once I did that, now I'm back to it's heavy enough where I'm going probably the reps I do are between 8 and 12. But I work very hard. Like I'm not dilly-dallying. I'm resting in between. I'm restoring my ATP in between my sets. So I lift with efficiency and whatever I can do. If you were a fly on my wall, I mean, I practice everything I preach. I don't care about eating. Like it just doesn't, it's not in my head because I eat really healthy and it fills my body with what it needs. My body's not empty. And that I think comes from having my eating disorder from when I was young. I love food and it feels so good to love food where food isn't the enemy. I love it. And my husband like laughs because my favorite thing is bacon and dates. And I eat like a man. And he'll roll the bacon and he puts it the dates. You guys probably know this recipe. I didn't know about it. We learned about it at a wedding. And we were like the only ones. We're like, how come you haven't heard of that? But now it's like my thing. So that's my treat. That's like my cheat meal. Like but it is so good. So if you guys haven't tried that, bacon, try to get good quality. Trader Joe's has some good quality bacon. Roll it on I don't know, he makes it in such a way, it's so delicious, but I'll eat like a whole package. I'm not saying for you guys to do that, but my metabolism is so good because of my muscle mass. And I'm only 5 feet tall, but I eat about 2,100 calories a day to maintain about 111 pounds. And that's the game. It's like if you develop that habit to eat really good food and you build muscle and you work in the gym, and it's a lot less than people think. We don't need as much as you think. I mean, I lift in the gym 4 days a week. I do 2 upper body, 2 lower bodies a week. And I work at about an hour and 15 minutes each time, but that includes my rest time, you know, and, getting all my shit in. And that's very efficient. So if you can't give yourself that time, think about, and everybody does have 24 hours a day in a day, but it's not the same. So I never promote that. I'm not one of these people where, well, you have the same 24 hours as I do. No, you don't. You don't have the same. You may have little children running around. You may have, so my life is different. It's my whole life. It's my career. I am a nutritional counselor too. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's huge because I do that online. So I can work with anybody. But yeah, it's my everything. I mean, if you are very authentic, people know that about me. This isn't some side gig. You know how they say, if you could do a job without getting paid, it's something I would do. And I do it. I do give it a lot of advice to my daughter's friends and, my son. I'll work out with my sons. I'll give them advice. I have 4 sons and a daughter. So I have, my kids are 29 to almost 37. So, and they're all, you lead by example. I was not one of these moms who are like, you got to work out and you got to eat healthy, but they saw me doing it. So from the very beginning, the basement, I had one little room, put the baby in those little carriers. The baby would sit. I had 5 kids within 8 years, but then they would play with each other, and mommy would be bench pressing in the thing. And there are videos with my kids when they were young making fun of mommy doing the bench pressing, like, this is mommy. And hey, so now they all do something, they're not into it as much as I am, but they're very aware of it. So that's how you do it. The young moms on here and the grandmas. I mean, even my grandson went to go pick him up. He's 8. And this was when I was trying to go for my 1 rep max for my 61st birthday. So I was at like 215, and my son showed him the video. So I guess he showed his friend at school. I go pick him up. He's like, Luna, Luna. He calls me Luna. And he goes, my friend wants to see you lifting that heavy weight off the ground. And I'm like, Palmer, I was kind of like, I don't want to really like do that. He's like, come on, Luna. So I go over, and the mother's there, and the kid. And he's like, play him the video. You know how that feels to have like your grandson? So that's pretty cool. I'd like to be known for that as a grandma. And then my
That's
son is like, you should do something, beat everybody, all the grandmothers at the. I'm proud about that, man.
that's awesome. And yeah, it's those aren't things that people think about when they first start working out. We want to like make a sports team or get a bicep size or lose weight or fit a dress or whatever the case may be. And those seeds that you plant for the future that you realize later on how everyone's watching and how important they are, and it gives you that time and energy to still be able to do things with your grandchildren that I wasn't thinking, oh, I'll go do this now, so I'll work out with my grandchildren, but it's there. And for women, like, historically, it's cardio was the first and foremost thing that so many did. And there's been more of a shift to weight training and the value and importance of it. And you were way ahead of the curve as far as that, still doing plenty of mobility and flexibility stuff as well. But I watched a podcast, some clips from one doctor. I need to get her name and credit her properly, but she's an orthopedic surgeon. And she's talking about the cliche we hear of women, falling and breaking a hip or something like that. And she's
Dr. Vonda White or something, Vonda.
I don't want to. It could be. I don't know. Maybe after I
Yeah.
finish this you'll recognize the same clip. But she said to her horror, what she was finding out is they weren't falling and then breaking something. Their bones had degenerated so much from osteoporosis that the bones were breaking while they were standing and walking, and then they were falling. And it's like, wow. And
Yeah, that's
so
pretty scary because you don't know. And even with me learning, like, apparently the more kids you have, I breastfed each child for a year. It really deteriorates your bone mass. Plus, I was bulimic from 16 to 22. So I'm fighting. I'm fighting. I'm like, you got to jump. You got to put some impact on those bones. It doesn't take much, 30 jumps a day. Now, don't do this if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia. You want to ask your doctor, but 30 jumps a day, because walking is great. I mean, I walk 5 miles a day, sometimes with a 25-pound vest, sometimes with 20, but they are saying that a vest doesn't really build bone, but it really helps with my endurance. And if weight loss, I like to say fat loss, but if losing calories or expending calories, I mean, it just makes sense. It's science. So the more weight you have on you, the more calories you're going to expend. So it does help. So I'm not doing it for the calories, but I am doing it for endurance. I have a heart issue from when I had spinal meningitis. So all my valves don't The blood doesn't flow the way a normal heart does. So my endurance is really shitty. Sorry. I don't sorry. I am
Fine.
spiritual, you guys, but I curse a shit ton.
No one's ears
Anyway,
are going to burn from
um,
that. Trust me.
sorry. But yeah, so don't be looking in the vest for like maybe the bone building, but it does have its benefits. So, and as far as cardio is good for you, right? You can't say it's not. If you're looking for endurance and that's your goal, cardio is great. I mean, cardio is good no matter what, but walking is will give you all benefits, but strength training is number one, always in my book. You know, strength training, you got to think about building bone, muscle. I'm a nurse. That's what I dealt with when I was in nursing, traditional nursing. I worked with in the assisted living, dementia. I did personal working with older people and they're in wheelchairs. They're deteriorating from falls and breaking their hip. It is detrimental and it's totally avoidable. So you want to avoid that like the plague. You shouldn't be shrinking. You know, I see people on TikTok like making it a joke, like, oh, when you're 50 and you can't do so. And I hate them because it's setting it in your mind. You know, I intend to do this for the rest of my life until I die. I mean, there's not an end game to health and wellness. There's no end game. There's no like, oh, when can I start eating like that again? No, there's nothing like that. You want to develop a new habit, a new plan, a new lifestyle, a new feeling good on really good food. You know what I mean? And then once you develop that, it's forever in your brain and it really does work and it really but people don't have the patience. They want you know, the whole GLP, you know, there is a time and a place for that too. I'm not going to say no never like that. You know, there are instances and they're doing a lot of research on it too about other things. But that's never my go-to ever, ever. Like, you know, I mean, it is something I don't know your feelings on it.
Same as
But
yours.
right. I mean, there's no never, never, never. But I think it's prescribed too easily now. And I think that people want a quick fix.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
you know, if you're not eating, what happens? You're going to lose weight. But what happens when you lose weight that fast? You're losing bone and you're losing muscle really fast. And that's detrimental.
Yeah. People prioritize the wrong things in the wrong order, and we don't fix the health and wellness part first and the fitness part first. And then they look to something to solve a problem or an issue or a symptom. And they're putting the cart before the horse, and that lifestyle change is going to do so much more in the long run. Yeah, it's more challenging, but it's also way more rewarding. And you figure that out, and you're leading by example. And that I love the shift that's happening in terms of people that are figuring that out. And like the other part, one other section we have in the classroom is the 50 plus fit club, where it's like, you know, redefining what aging is through fitness. So you don't necessarily think you're supposed to be a certain way at 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or whatever it is. You can really change that by your lifestyle and how active you are and how you're eating. And you've already changed it. You're 61, I'll be 67 in May. And we are not typically looking and feeling and living like most people our age. And there's a reason for that. And yeah, there's always fortune involved. I could have been hit by a car yesterday or something, but we've been doing this for a long time, and now people are more apt to listen to us that they can, you know, the proof is in the pudding in us. Whereas if I was telling the people this at 30, we say, yeah, whatever, man. But now they say, wait, how old are you? What can you do? And so we have their ears more. And you said a couple of things that I want to comment on one and have a question about another. But you're talking about that cheat meal, and I was talking to one of my friends and clients the other day, and she was struggling with some things, and I was telling her that's a very common strategy in the fitness competition industry to have a cheat meal that you have on your calendar as something to look forward to, and a little bit of a mental and emotional break so you don't feel so deprived, and it can keep you on track better when you say, "Oh, I won't have this now," because, but boy, I'll have that on Saturday when that's on my cheat or whatever. And because you don't have to be quote unquote perfect, to reach your goals, and there's still room for some balance. And if you just feel like you're just missing out all the time, that don't work. And people under eat sometimes, and you still need to nourish your body and give it the right nutrients, or you're, like you said, you're just going to wind up, lighter, but not necessarily leaner, just unhealthy and unfit, and not capable. And so you're doing the things to help with that. Another question I get from a lot of women that are, and I told one I would ask you this, that they're going through the menopausal change, and all the different things that are shifting within their bodies, and their hormone system and their endocrine system, and they're not liking it a whole lot. And you're someone that, obviously you dealt through those things too, and you're telling me that it's just you get through it. And so what advice could you give to the women
Mm.
that are either about to deal with that, or they're now dealing with that and they're right in it, and what helps you, or what encouragement could you give?
Your tude means a lot. Your attitude, to say, because it's inevitable. I mean, we're going to go through menopause, right? But, and I'll say it again, because I've been through so many adversities, I looked at it as a gift. And I know some women are going to be like, "Oh God," and roll their eyes. But I'm not saying it was always smooth sailing. It wasn't. But I like not having my period anymore. I tried to look at it as a good thing. And when I had a hot, I think I said this to you the other, when I had a hot flash, I was like, "Oh my God, I look so beautiful. Look, it's a nice, I don't need blush." Like, oh, look at the sweat is making my skin nice and glistening. And before I knew it, here I am, and I'm not like, I feel great, and I'm 61. So I went through menopause kind of early because I only have one ovary and one tube on opposite sides. That's another story. I had infertility problems. And I knew I was going to go through. It wasn't extremely early. It was 51, but my mom went through menopause at like 56, so she was older. But so it's 10 years ago. And it's funny, my daughter mentioned, "Mom, remember when you had really thick, beautiful hair? What did you do?" I said, "Robin, I've been through menopause." Like and I decided, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I am trying to be au natural for hopefully the rest of my life. So I don't do hormones. I'm not saying you shouldn't look into them. If you do look into them, look into bioidentical hormones. I do have a naturopathic gynecologist, and she did my whole workup. And I could do a couple things, but when she looked at me, she's like, "How do you feel?" I said, "I feel great." I said, "If I could do something with my hair, and sh maybe something." But she's looked at my stomach, like my muscle mass, and how I'm not skinny, I'm fit. So my muscle to fat ratio is really good. I had muscle tone, muscle everything, and she's like, "I want to be you when I grow up. You don't have to do anything." And she's older than me, but we were joking about it because I said I feel great. She asked me about my sex life. She asked me about my sleep. She asked me about I'm fine. Yeah, my hair. I would love to have thick, gorgeous hair, but pill ain't gonna fix that. And anyway, you gotta shift the attitude. I mean, maca helped me a little bit. It's an herb. I don't use it anymore, but it did help me. MACA. If anybody's interested in the brand, I mean, I could let them know. I used that for quite a long time, and it seemed like it helped maybe half a little bit. Diet. If you're higher protein, higher fat, could help. I mean, I always prioritize protein anyway, first, and then if I'm still hungry, I'll do anything else. But I really, for myself, I eat, I eat like a lot, and my biggest things are my organic frozen blueberries, my eggs. I love eggs, love them. Avocado. I have meat every day, grass finished meat of some sort, once a day. I do like a particular protein bar called Equip. I think it's Equip and protein. I'll have that with my espresso in the morning, just because I like having it with my espresso. Yeah. So if you get natural sunlight, be in nature, don't burn. That helps because of vitamin D. Um, Good sleep. I just talked about the importance of not wearing blue blockers all day. Unfortunately, people, and I put the connection together like this is really messing up a lot of people. So listen up. These are not blue light blockers. But they're good for close up for me. But you're hearing so much about blue light blockers and blocking out the light from the phone, from TV, from artificial light. And that's all well and good. But you don't want to put on your blue light blockers until the sun sets. If people are wearing them all day and it's messing up their circadian rhythm, because you want to have nothing on your eyes, even the contacts. If you can go out and just get 10 minutes of sun, don't look directly in the sun, but go out in the morning when the sun comes up or close there with that time and get some natural sunlight. That sets up your circadian rhythm. But if you're wearing blue light blockers, even regular glasses, even contacts, that's blocking the sun. You don't want that. And then some people will wear blue light blockers all day. We need the sun for the energy. And then at night, when the sun sets, you go out, you get the same 10 minutes, and that starts your melatonin for the night. Then you can put on your blue light blockers. So I have two sets of glasses now for close up regular, then blue light blockers. I just get mine on Amazon because I don't need them for far away, but just like a reader. But please be aware of that because if you're not getting quality sleep, that's going to get your menopausal symptoms are going to be horrible, because it's already hard because you're getting hot flashes and things like that. But just know, and you might not want to hear this too shall pass. It really will. I wish there was a better answer, but you also can get your baseline hormones checked. I wouldn't take just synthetic hormones. I would, if I was to go on anything, it would be bioidentical hormones. Don't fall in for any hype on TikTok or very strict on my TikTok. I'm not promoting anything I don't use. It's very generic. The stuff I use and promote are very little, because I will not do that. And I get every day, I get like 30 people asking me to promote their supplements or whatever. If I'm not using it, I'm not doing it. And I've got to use a supplement for like 6 months at least before I start to promote it. And I feel great. So why would I? I don't want to add, I want to subtract to my regimen. So, and that's my goal with nutritional counseling. I don't talk about supplements right away. We get their baseline. I talk about what they're eating, and hopefully we can resolve things with food because food is amazing. We are what we eat. We act the way we act because of our food. If we're hungry, and we're cranky, like we're. But when I eat, I'm happy as I'm doing cartwheels. I do.
That's
Really.
that's amazing,
Making
and
snow angels.
yes, making snow angels in a bathing suit. That was like crazy. Um, but that was great information. And what we'll do, guys, is we'll have at some point a webinar, because I know there's questions going off in people's heads that are going to watch this, and you guys will be able to type questions into the chat and have Lenny cover some other topics. But you're so right. I mean, and like I'm known as a supplement guy, and I'm a supplement nerd. But as a supplement, you have to get the lifestyle part right and the food right and all those other things. Those have to be your foundation, and then you go to that next level or whatever. So it's always important to reiterate that to people. And we're going to do multiples of these and get even deeper into your nutrition. But I did want to talk to you about how do you blend, because you talked about your weight training 4 days a week. And how much yoga do you do? Is your cardio just your walking? And tell everyone about restorative yoga to get that calm and that attitude and de-stress yourself, and how you fit those things into your schedule.
Yeah. I don't my two main priorities are strength training and walking in nature. Those are my two priorities every day. And my food, obviously. But I integrate my yoga with training because I only practice restorative yoga now and teach restorative yoga, which is the art of doing nothing. Because we're in a state of fight or flight every day, everybody, pretty much. People get very involved with politics and things, and they stress out all day, every day. They've got news on, they're being bombarded. If there's something I need to know, I'll know. I don't have to sit there and have the news on. I don't remember the last time I watched TV. Me and my husband play Scrabble every night. That's what we do. We light a fire and we play Scrabble. And yeah, if I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. That's how I like to deal with things. But we're in a state of fight or flight every day, and it will catch up to you in some way, whether it's mental, physical, spiritual, whatever it is. So restorative yoga is the art of doing nothing, and it's not. It's the elements are warm, quiet, dark, still, and safe. And in those elements, there's nowhere else to go but down. There's nowhere else to go but to be in that parasympathetic state. You rest and digest. So people are in sympathetic state all the time, fight or flight. A bear is chasing them. It's so detrimental to your health. So you could be lifting weights, you could be eating really well, you could be doing all the other things. But if you are constantly in go, go, go mode, it ain't good. So, and believe me, it took me a long time to learn this. And restorative yoga is probably what changed my life because I am type A. You guys can see I'm energetic, and my father called me spark plug, and my mom called me tiger. And I was, and I've very much lived up to those names. But I know when to bring it down. And so I will give myself, if you guys are familiar with legs up the wall, that's one of the best poses to do. So without getting into a whole practice, that could be a really great practice to do before bed. And that is restorative yoga. That's one of the main poses I do. I do four if I'm doing a class. For myself, legs up the wall will bring down anxiety. It will just let you be in the now moment. And I would say don't have earbuds in. Try to be in the state of quiet. When I do teach class, I want my students to get to the point where they are aware, but they don't care. Like you're aware of like what's going on upstairs. You hear maybe a dog going across the floor, but you don't care. You get into that state of bliss. So if you do legs up the wall, if you're not familiar, just look it up. Get something to cover your eyes. I like to say an eye pillow. Make sure you're warm because your body temperature is going to come down. With doing nothing, that's what happens. Your body temperature comes down. So you want to be warm. Um, just set up a nice thing underneath your body so you're comfortable. You put your legs up, but the practice isn't about stretching, it's about letting go. So you may be able to put your legs straight and get that little stretch in the back in your hamstring, but that's not the goal. The goal is release, surrender. Then you start breathing in and out through your nose. So that's the pillar in the top is nutrition and breath. So you want to mainly always breathe in and out through your nose. And that's another thing. It's like if you are breathing with your mouth, especially at night, again, your nervous system is always jacked. It's never relaxed. If at any time you're breathing with your mouth, you might notice that if you're sick and you can't breathe with your nose, how annoying it is to always breathe with your mouth. But a lot of people do it. And a lot of people only breathe from up here. They're not using the diaphragm. They're not doing three-part breath with the belly and the chest and the ribs expanding and deflating. Like I have a whole video doing that in front of the fire, just breathing. So once you start breathing in and out through the nose, your nervous system comes way, way down. It's like meditation without the meditation because people get scared of meditation too. It's the word, you know. So I incorporate it, I intertwine it with my working out at the end. Um, so my stretching comes at the end also, and that's yoga based also. Um, so what else? Yeah, so my strength training is upper body. I rest the next day, active recovery. When I say rest, people wouldn't think it's rest, but it's rest for me. And then the next day is lower body, take a day off, upper body. And it's been working for me. That's the split that's been working with me for about, I've been on this split for about a year and a half now. So, when I go in the gym, it's the gym. I'm not dilly dallying. I don't like really working out with anybody. I've never liked that. I like to get my shit done and get out. And I always give myself a high five when I'm done. No,
Awesome.
I do. I always
No,
do. Another workout in the books, 41 years. I'm
yeah,
like, it's never going to end.
you have to. You have to acknowledge not just where you're trying to go, but how far you've come. And I grade myself on my workout like what was that? A, B, C, D, E. And it's usually at worst a B, but you always want a B, B plus, and so that's positive reinforcement for me. And if there's not, there's a reason for it, but I just loved how you set that up. And for people that want to know more, like if you go to the 5 Pillars of Lenny, she breaks down in depth what restorative yoga is. There's videos of her demonstrating some stuff, and there's even a full restorative yoga class that you did and taught in there. And so it's a perfect way to learn more about that. And then she talks more about her breathing and all the other pillars. And I think I've loaded most of the modules in there. I still need to do a few more, but there's plenty for you guys to start with and go on. And we're going to have more and more stuff with her. And it's thank you. It's getting late. We're gonna do some more nutrition stuff later. But
Just an FYI. Restorative yoga, when people think of yoga, I'm sure the first vision is warrior or, doing some kind of, but like I said, it's the art of doing nothing. It's not, it's a different type of yoga. A lot of people, it's one of the hardest because you have to let everything go. And you're not when I always tell the story when I was in learning and getting my certification for it, I was in child's pose, and you stay in a pose for about 10 minutes at least, and you're as comfortable as can be. So you're the you want to be able to just sink and just let go and be in a state of bliss. So you want to be really comfortable. But I remember because I'm so type A that it was like thinking, well, I shouldn't be here. I should be working out. I should be sweating. I should be shopping. I should be that. So I just have fair warning. There, people, it's so hard because people can't let go and they can't relax. And they're like, they need music, they need stimulation, they need me talking, they need, the music and ba boom. And it's nothing like that. But when you really understand it, you get to that point where it's like, whoa, I get this now. And it's just like anything else. You just have to develop a habit, develop something new. You know what I mean? You're not going to go in a gym and build unbelievable biceps after one workout. It's just like takes time, and my biceps take a long time to build. That's probably my one lagging body part. Just saying, takes a long time. People who are in this classroom know that.
Yeah,
You
stress
know.
is such a killer, and learning to de-stress is an art and critical, and prioritizing that we don't do. And so this is a great reminder, and it's going to add to the quality of your life. A lot of people don't get the results they want because they are so overstressed, and it causes all kinds of other reactions that they have. And when you're talking about longevity and peace of mind, and really enjoying your life and having a high quality of life, being able to manage that through that kind of tool, that could be such a game changer for people. So I thank you for that, and I encourage you guys to learn more about that. To wrap up here, tell everyone where they could find you, like your Instagram address and your TikTok queen, and so let them know where they can check you.
Well, I think if they go, well, I don't even know. Lenny Antonina on TikTok is probably my biggest platform. It is my biggest platform. You can go there. And if you go to TikTok, then underneath is my link tree. So that's everything on there. My Instagram is Lenny Antonina. Um, and my link tree is on there too. So all my information is there. But I don't put a lot on my Instagram. I have a private, and then I have a like the work one. But I try to focus on just TikTok because I can't I want to practice what I preach. I don't want to be all over the place and stressed, and you know, um I got to bring it down. And if I'm like so what I do is if I do something health and wellness on TikTok, I put it over on Instagram. So either platform though, you can find my link tree and find all my stuff.
Cool, thank you, and we'll put those links in here for you guys that are here to make it easy for you. But Lenny, thank you so much, my friend. It was a pleasure
Thank
having you and talking to
thank
you, and
you.
we will do this again because I know you guys want more. And thanks for tuning in to Team Bodysport Fitness and listening to the amazing Lenny. And go check out the 5 pillars in the classroom. And I promise I will encourage her to come back and tell us some more stuff.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I love you.
I love you too, kiddo. Everyone take care, and we'll see you next time.